Hello students, welcome to the class. So after having a clear understanding about the parts of speech from the first lecture, this is going to be the second lecture, which is the discussion on grammatical rules. So now what is the usage of these rules and how this is going to help you in your reading and your listening section. So if you are able to understand all of them and implement it correctly while solving your reading as well as listening blanks, you are going to observe a tremendous change in terms of saving the time. If you have not gone through the first video, then I would again highly recommend that just go through the first video. It will help you to understand the terms which we have used in this lecture. You can get that link in the description of this video. So without wasting time, let's look at the first rule, which is while forming the any sentence, verb is mandatory. Now, what do we mean by verb? So we already know that any term which reflects the action, that is verb. So whenever there is one particular line that has to have subject plus verb. Without verb, your line is incomplete in any particular sentence in any language. So to help you it understand better, what I've done is I have picked up few of the passages from the reading section and the corresponding blank. If you just look at this line, so this is your question statement, which mentions as a response to rising flood waters in the Mekong Delta, a non-profit organization has been building houses that can something. Now we can clearly understand that that is a conjunction, and after that we should expect the verb. But what has happened? The sentence is stopped at modal verb, and after modal verb can, we need to have verb. Now, if we have clear understanding, the form of the verb is going to be V1 because your modal verb is can. And after modal verb, most of the time you are going to get verbs first form. Now, what we can do is this is your reading passage. Now, just try to locate the word that can complete this sentence with the same meaning of this paragraph. Now, the keywords non-profit organization, not profit organization, building houses. So modification were made by the foundation. So this is the non-profit organization and this is your houses. So now I have got the common word that this is my non-profit organization and this is about the houses and this is about the building, right? So Vietnam, homes and building, everything I've got. Now what I need to get is I need to look at the sentence formation. Now, if you look at that as a conjunction, so your subject is going to be houses. Now, just ignore this particular section as well as that, and you will see houses can blank. So, houses can do something. So, that means we have to present the action which houses can do. So, if I read this paragraph, homes in this part of Vietnam are traditionally built on the sleds, but these ones had been built to float. Now, houses has a capability to float. That means if I select float as the answer, then the meaning of this blank is going to match with whatever is present in this paragraph. So I was able to understand that the answer is going to be verb, that I am able to complete this sentence. So right, so whenever you are seeing full stop to full stop, and within that full stop there is no verb, you should always expect the answer to be verb. Okay, let's move to the second rule. Second rule is about paying attention to the articles, article an and article the. Now what is an and the? So these articles are going to help you to identify the word type. Now most of the time after articles we are going to have noun. I would say 50 to 60% of the time. If you just pay attention to the article, you are going to get your answer, because if after this article there is blank, you can expect the same article present in the paragraph, and your answer is also going to be the same just after the article. Now, it won't be always the case, but what I'm trying to tell you is 50 to 60% of the time you're going to get your answer, right? What other factors that we can distinguish? So, for example, after the, we can expect plural answer. After a and an, it is 100% sure that it is going to be the singular noun, right? So, a and n are the singular articles, so you can always expect a noun that is singular. And after the, we can expect singular as well as plural noun. So let's get back to the example directly. If you see, this is my blank. I got the over there, right? So after the, I can expect there has to be plural noun. Now, if I say the blank of cacao were used to make clothes, so they ate its meat and used its feathers to make soft cloth. So now cloth means clothes, right? Make, I got the make. Cacao, that's the name of the tree, which is referred by pronoun its. And then if I see feathers, so my answer is going to be feathers. So feathers of cacao were used to make clothes. So this completes my meaning, right? So after the, we can expect plural noun. Let's look at the third one, relative pronoun. So in the previous lecture, we have already seen what is pronoun, right? So it is the term that is being used as the replacement of noun. There I have explained what is the relative pronoun. So relative pronoun is something which describes your relation. So for an example, my, our, your, his, her, its, and their. So these are the relative pronouns. So after relative pronoun, we should always expect a noun. Let's look at the third one. Now you can see, so just ahead of the blank, there is a pronoun there. So I can directly expect that the answer is going to be something which is in the position of they, right? Now, after looking at the line, need to use there, so something has to be used to help to turn their bodies around in order to look sideways. So they have to use something to turn sideways. Now let's try to match those words with my paragraph. Now to see something on its left or its right, this is sideways. A manatee must turn. So they had to turn its entire body. Now they have to turn their entire body. So look at this. They have to turn their bodies, right? Steering with its flippers. Now steering means something that helps you to turn ways. And what they are using flippers. So I can certainly that flippers is a noun and it is in the possession of manatee. So need to use there, what they are using? They are using flippers. And this is going to be my answer. Clear? Let's look at the fourth one. Now, my rule number 4 is saying that adjective and noun would be placed next to each other. Now, this is not the rule that is 100% accurate, but 80% of the time you would find adjective and noun together. So let's look at the fourth one. Now you can look at this blank which mentions that look similar to dog nose but with a differently shaped. Now there is a mention of shape and shape is adjective, we can clearly say that, and after the adjective we can expect noun. So which type of noun we can like expect here? So it is something which is differently shaped, so the shape of them is different than the gnus. So let's look at this. However, the manatee has a broad rounded tail, whereas the gnus is fluked like that of whale. Now you can see They have mentioned the shape of what? Tail. Now, manatee has broad and rounded tail, while dugongs has fluke tail. So my answer is going to be tail. Right? Understood? So this is my fourth rule, which mentions that after the adjective I can expect noun, and it can be vice versa. Before the noun you can expect adjective. Okay, so let's look at the fifth rule, which is the usual rule of infinitive verb. Now what is infinitive verb? Now what normal English says that you can have only one main verb in your sentence. So between full stop to full stop, you can expect only single verb. But if you want to add additional verb in your line, then you need to use that either as infinitive verb or with preposition. So what is the difference between these two? So now whenever you're using infinitive verb, that is presenting some purpose. If I want to say that uh, my purpose is to explore, let's say Goa, right? So what I'll say, I am going to Goa to explore it. Now my purpose is to exploring the Goa. That is why I have used to explore. But in terms of preposition, it can be the same. Like I'm going out for playing cricket. So that can be also used to represent your purpose. So we have two specific words that can help us to add additional verb in the line. So let's look at the blank number 5. Now here we can see that is true. So after 2 we can expect direct V1. Now whenever I'm reading to this line, my focus should be on the verb and most probably 2. Without reading the line, I can see the answer could be relocate. Let's see. Richard Henry, a conservationist, tried to something, the kakapo. So conservationist Richard Henry, efforts. So efforts, that means tried. And what were the efforts for? The efforts for to relocate several hundred of birds to predator-free Resolution Island in the Fireland. So my answer is relocate for sure, right? So that has helped me clearly. Similarly, the sixth rule, that is prepositions. After preposition, we can expect verbs fourth form, that is ing form. So due to its strength, okay, so let's focus on the strength. L was often used to build equipment for something. So what I can do is I can look at this line and see, is there anything about the strength? It was suitable, experience, high level, impact, build the keel, 19th century, sailing ship carry sack, as well as mining equipment. Equipment is matching. And why this equipment was used? This equipment was used for mining. So I got ing. So in this entire line, there are only two ing form. One is sailing, another is mining. But with equipment, what is matching? Mining. So my answer is going to be mining. Right? Let's look at the seventh rule. Now, with the conjunction like and, or, nor, whenever we have similar sort of conjunction, what they usually do, they do two things. First one is combining two lines, and the second is to combine two words. Now, whenever the purpose is to combine two words, you can expect similar word type. Now, what is similar word type? Similar word type means if there is noun ahead of and, then you can expect noun after that. If you can see verb at the first place, then at second place it has to be verb. If it is adjective, then this has to be adjective, because the joining of those words has to be the same. Then and then this conjunction can be used. So let's look at the seventh one. You can see over here and. So let's try to understand this line. So diet consists of one fronts, various part of the tree, and something. So what we have observed is ahead of and we are seeing a combination of noun. You can say it is not just noun, it is adjective plus noun. So various parts of the tree and fern fronts, right? So what extra it can be? So out of these two, the third one will be your answer. So let's see, they are entirely vegetarian. Okay, understood. Their diet. Okay, now I got the word diet, right? Including the leaves, roots, and bark of trees. Now these consist my various part of the tree, as well as bulbs. So this is the additional one, and fun fronts. So what is fun front? Fun front is already mentioned in the paragraph. You can see fun fronts. So this also I've got. So what is left is bulbs, and that is going to be my answer, right? As it is also the noun. Clear? Let's look at the rule number 8, and which is for the preposition of and apostrophe s. What we can expect before and after of that is always a noun. Why? Because it represents the relation between two terms, and the relation has to be between two nouns, right? So let's see how it is helpful. Okay, so you can see here it is apostrophe s, right? So due to its strength, elm was often used for mining equipment, and the cutty sarks something was also constructed from elm. So after apostrophe s, so I have to have noun, and that noun should be the possession of cutty sark. So if I look at this, I got this cutty sark, right? I got it. But what of this is made from elm? So let's read the line. It is also suitable for the item that experienced high level of impact and was used to build the kill of 19th century sailing ship Katisak. So I got to know that Katisak is nothing but one sailing ship, and its keel was made out of elm. So my answer is kill without any doubt. Clear? So after apostrophe s or after or before of, you will always expect noun. Looking at the rule number 9 and 10, this is nothing but the summary of your grammar, right? All the tenses that you have gone through. So, for example, simple present tense, continuous tense, perfect tense. This is the summary. Now, if you see blank after am, is, are, was, were, or will, shall be, you can expect three things. First one is V3. Now, when can we get the V3? So, V3 you'll get when the sentence is passive. V4 you will get when the sentence is active but continuous. And you will get adjective plus noun when you are presenting in a situation. So out of these three, you will not expect anything else. Similarly, for has, have, and had, right, you will expect V3 when the tense is active plus it is perfect tense. And either you will get adjective or noun when you are presenting the possession. I have a mobile phone. So that is your possession, right? So let's try to use that. Okay, I can see was, and after was, I have to put something. Now, what I can expect? I can expect only three things, either V3 or V4 or now. So what I'll do is I'll first try to understand the formation of this sentence, right? Her performance was below average until she was blank by a difficult puzzle that one of her siblings showed her. Her performance was below average, okay, until, so there is a time formation, she was something by a difficult puzzle. Okay, so if I see by, I can 30-40% get clear that it is going to be the passive voice, because she was something by difficult puzzle. So let's try to see where is difficult puzzle, right? And performance. So maths problem going to be the puzzle, right? From a magazine that fascinated her, and she was hooked. Now hooked means she get involved. But what happened by the puzzle? So that puzzle fascinated her. That means attracted her. So my answer is going to be fascinated. So she was fascinated by a difficult puzzle that one of her siblings showed her, and that sibling was her elder brother. So now this matches completely, right? And herely, if you can see have, right? So I can expect either V3 or now. So in addition, it has been suggested that the dogs could have something which may affect other species. Wild animal, this is going to be the other species. Ethiopian wolves, okay, so these are the species which may affect. So which means it is a referential integrity, and ahead of which it has to be noun. So this is clear that if it is verb, then there won't be which. So which can be only used for the noun. So here it has to be noun. And it should be in the position of dogs. So what dogs can have? So dogs can have other ecological impacts too. They have been found to spread disease. Yes, can it be? Dogs could have disease, which may affect other species. So spread, that means affect. And what can affect? So disease. So now I got it. My noun is disease, which is in the possession of dogs, and that is dangerous for the other species. So this way, it will help you to solve your reading and listening blanks very quickly. So I hope this was really helpful. If you have any doubt, you can put your comments, and in the next lecture, we are going to look at the strategies to solve the different sort of reading questions. Thank you.